I don't care if your hair is long and you ain't never had a trim. I can see that you need a trim.
My hope is fun like Jackie Brown.
Yeah, you funny.
I wanna know if she too down. Will you be my leading lady?
What's up, YouTube? It is your favorite girl, your natural hair bestie, Nia Imani, back with another video. And today I want to share with you all 5 tips and tricks that I use at home to create a healthy hair regimen. So if you are new here, welcome or welcome back. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and to click that bell notification button so you never miss when I upload. Now, this natural hair journey for me has been a roller coaster. I've experienced heat damage, bleach/color damage. I've done big chop 2 or 3 times. I've experienced breakage, everything in between. However, having a consistent regimen and also patience and kindness for my hair has allowed my hair to flourish and for me to reach tailbone length, waist length, and just have thick, full, curly hair. Now, these tips and tricks are not synonymous to being natural. I do believe that you can be color treated, relaxed, and have healthy hair. So I just want to share some insight for you all on these tips and tricks that I have. Also, if you're new here, I am a soon-to-be licensed cosmetologist. I did just recently graduate from cosmetology school. However, natural hair has been my love on this platform and just in general since about 2011. So that is just a little bit about me. I am sharing some tips and tricks that have worked for me over the years, and I hope that this video can be helpful. So if you are interested, definitely stay tuned and let me know some of your healthy hair tricks in the comments below. All right, y'all, so let's just jump in. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone because I wrote y'all some notes. So let's get into it. So step number 1 is going to be to shampoo and condition on a weekly basis, okay? Dirt does not grow your hair. Let's bust that myth right now. Let's bust it right now, because that's not a thing. The reason people's hair is growing when it's maybe braided up for months on end is because they're not manipulating the hair. It is not the dirt that is allowing the hair to grow. So I recommend to my clients, and honestly to myself and just anybody I can tell, to wash your hair on a weekly basis. Shampooing your hair and conditioning your hair is not going to dry your hair out. Water is not going to dry your hair out. It's hydrating. It's moisturizing. You get where I'm going here? Now, do I recommend people that look like me washing their hair on a daily basis? Absolutely not. A weekly basis? Absolutely. When y'all get to that 2-week mark, we pushing it. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. And that's something that I learned at a very, very young age. So shampooing your hair, number 1, is going to create a healthy environment for your scalp as well as for your hair. You wouldn't go 2, 3, 4 weeks without taking a shower or washing your face. You get what I'm saying? So you shouldn't be doing that same thing to your scalp. Your scalp is an extension of your skin. Like, the skin doesn't stop right here. You know, it goes and it's covered by your hair, but it's still skin that needs to be hydrated and that needs to be cleansed. It's also important that we wash our hair on a weekly basis because our hair is always in contact with the elements on a daily basis. Environmental elements, dirt, debris, our clothes, things that we may lay up on, brush up against, our hair is touching. And oftentimes those things are not necessarily the most sanitary. Also, our scalp is producing sebum, and that is our body's natural oil. And having an excessive buildup of that on the scalp can also lead to problems. And also, the products that we're using, they start to flake up or build up onto the scalp and the hair, and it just needs to be cleansed away. So I definitely recommend that we shampoo our hair once a week. So I do personally recommend that you shampoo your hair at least once or twice with a clarifying shampoo. And a clarifying shampoo is really going to ensure that you are kind of stripping away any excess oils, product buildup, dirt, debris on a more like a stronger level. I recommend that you do a clarifying shampoo, say if you're going to like do a silk press. You want your silk press to be very light and weightless. You don't want that weighed down by any product. I also recommend a clarifying shampoo if you just came out of braids and say your braider used a lot of jam or, you know, product on your hair. You want to strip all of that out of your hair as well. And I also recommend a clarifying shampoo if you just feel like my scalp is itchy, I haven't washed my hair in 2 or 3 weeks, it's a lot of product buildup, your hair is oiled down, weighed down. I definitely believe that that is the best time to go in with the clarifying shampoo. But on a weekly basis, you can definitely go in with a cleansing shampoo or a moisturizing shampoo just to cleanse the hair gently. You don't need to do a super strip, because if you do build a regimen or you build a habit of washing your hair on a weekly basis, your hair is gonna get in the habit of essentially being clean. Since you are washing your hair consistently, you are creating a clean environment for the hair, and also your hair is getting in the habit of being clean, and the amount of product buildup, sebum, and oil, dirt, and debris will not be as much. so you won't have to go in with a super strength clarifying shampoo. I do like to go in with about 2 lathers of shampoo. Sometimes that first lather just is getting that first little layer of gunk, and then you want to go and follow that up with a second round of shampoo. So I'm not somebody that's going to just shampoo my hair once. 1 lather is not enough. I like to go in with 2. And to make sure that you also are not wasting product, you want to kind of squeeze that shampoo in your hand, emulsify it, and then apply it to your wet hair. And if you want to see how I do my wash day, definitely be sure to click this video up here or up here. So after you have shampooed your hair twice, you want to follow that up with a conditioner. So on a weekly basis, shampoo and condition is honestly just enough for your hair. I used to be a girl who did deep condition my hair on a weekly basis. However, it's not super necessary. A regular conditioner that you like that has a good slip and it has great ingredients is just fine. However, in the event that your hair is feeling dry, it's feeling brittle, or it's just feeling like it's just in need of additional moisture, that is when you can go in with a deep conditioning hair mask. So me personally, I do go in with a deep conditioner about 2 to 3 times a month. I'll be completely honest. You won't see it on my weekly wash days, but I do go in just to ensure that I'm retaining length as well as moisture retention. So if you feel like your hair is in need of moisture, hydration, or is feeling a bit brittle, definitely consider going in with a moisturizing deep conditioning treatment. But if you have been clarifying your hair a little bit too much with a clarifying shampoo, or you just recently colored your hair, definitely consider going in with a protein-based deep conditioner or a moisturizing protein conditioner to balance that protein in your hair and get your hair back to a homeostasis. Also, you do want to avoid leaving your deep conditioners in overnight or just for an extended period of time. If the bottle says do it for 20 minutes or 15 minutes, that's it. Leaving a deep conditioner in longer than manufacturer's label says is not going to make it more effective. If it says 10, 15, or 20 minutes, leave it in for that. Leave it in for that long and rinse it out. Also, leaving in your deep conditioners or just leaving your hair covered up wet for an extended period of time can cause what is called high growth fatigue. And essentially what that is, it's your strands swelling too large, and eventually that is going to cause them to break off or cause your hair to break off. So you may think, oh, if I just leave my deep conditioner in overnight every night because I'm trying to reverse damage, and you start feeling like your hair is softer and it feels more manageable. Actually, what your hair is doing is getting weaker, and that weakness or that softness and that manageability is honestly going to turn into your hair starting to break off because your hair is too moisturized, that the strands have begun to expand and swell until a point where they are super weak. Because when your hair is wet, it's actually in the most vulnerable and weakest state. So point 1, shampoo and condition weekly, deep condition when needed or every other week, and don't leave your deep conditioning mask in for too long. All right, tip number 2, find a style that works for you. I cannot say that enough. And it's okay to experiment. I'm not opposed to experimenting, but I think it's super important that you find something that works for you and just stick with it. Me personally, I'm a wash and go girl. I used to do twist styles, braid outs, I still do rod sets here and there, but on a weekly basis, it's a wash and go. On a weekly basis, it may be a twist out for you, or a rod set for you, or braids, or a silk press, whatever's your prerogative. But find something that works for you and honestly stick with it. When I do my wash and go, I shampoo, condition, and I style my hair, I set it, and my hair is like this for the next 4 to 5 days. And the reason I say find a style and stick with it is because you want to minimize excessive manipulation to your hair. Keep your hands out of your head. You do not need to be touching up your hair every day. When your hair is being over manipulated, you're not allowing your hair a time to just rest and be. And to me, I personally just think the hair is getting aggravated. If you're always putting it in a ponytail or braiding it or straining it or wetting it down, you're not allowing the hair to just be hair. Imagine if you were just to wash your face all day, every day. Your skin and that moisture barrier will begin to get irritated. And to me, I kind of feel like it's the same thing with hair. Your hair will begin to get irritated because it's having to be constantly manipulated, constantly stretched, constantly stressed, and the hair just want to be hair. I will also say to be kind to your hair. I know with having curly hair, thick hair, coarse hair, it seems like our hair is difficult. Your hair is not difficult. It's not. I promise you it's not. The reason it may seem difficult is because, back to point number 1, you may be taking those extended periods of time for shampooing and detangling your hair. Now your hair is in a state where it's tangled, it's matted, it's dry, and it's low-key neglected. That's when hair is unmanageable, when it's become matted. So it becomes unmanageable being a result of not being properly cared for. But if you create this consistent regimen that you are doing at home, wash day is gonna be easy for you, no matter what your texture is. So be kind to your hair. I personally was always taught to work with my hair in sections. Since I was young, my mom busting it down the middle, 4 sections, and she's, you know, detangling my hair in sections. And if you need to work in smaller sections, you can do that. When you're detangling your hair, you want to always start from the ends of your hair, work your way up. Don't detangle dry hair. It's important that you wet the hair before you detangle it, and then go in with the conditioner and detangle it, not just combing dry hair. I would never comb my hair in this state. That's when you start hearing it pop off and rip off, and it starts to break off because it was never meant to be detangled in this dry state. So when you're detangling, make sure you're going in with a wide tooth comb or a Denman brush, detangling brush, paddle brush to detangle your hair. And just take your time. If you have a lot of hair, if your hair is thick, it's gonna take a little bit more time, and that's okay. But I just really want to reassure you all that your hair is not difficult, it's not unmanageable, it's not untamed. Your hair is beautiful exactly how it is and how it grows out of your scalp. And another point I want to make to this point is try to minimize how often you're going into those protective styles. If you're wearing protective styles on a consistent basis, like you got box braids or knotless braids this month, and then next month you just take them down, shampoo your hair, and go back into braids without really allowing your hair time to breathe, that is just another point of excess manipulation. And honestly, that protective style is not protective at all, because your hair didn't get the chance to breathe. It barely got any sunlight, and it barely got the proper moisture that it needs. When I talk to a lot of my clients and they're consistently wearing knotless braids, sew-ins, or protective styles in general, they tell me that in those protective styles they're not shampooing their hair or conditioning their hair. So for those 4 weeks that they were, 4 to 6, sometimes even 8 weeks, for when they were braided up, their hair was not hydrated, their hair was not moisturized, their scalp was not cleansed. So if you're always going in and out of protective styles and you only wash your hair once a month, or you only wash your hair when you take that protective style out, that is not creating a healthy scalp environment. Your hair needs sunlight, it needs water, it needs moisture, it needs fresh air and circulation. Your hair wants to be free, I promise y'all. I really do. So not providing your hair with those things that it needs can further hinder your growth as well as your length and moisture retention. All right, so tip number 3, and don't beat me up because I know y'all like to tussle. Trim your hair. Let's trim it. Let's trim those ends. I don't care if your hair is long and you ain't never had a trim. I can see that you need a trim, and that's no shade. I promise you, it's no shade at all. But I can tell. I'm the type of person, I trim my hair on a consistent basis, and I also dust my ends when needed. I personally recommend every 4 to 6 weeks or 3 to 4 months, which is essentially once a quarter that you're going to be getting your hair trimmed, because your ends are the oldest part of your hair, right? So they're more prone to rubbing up on clothes, rubbing up on the back of your car seat, rubbing up on cotton, just, you know, being exposed to the elements. It's a more sensitive part of your hair. It's more fragile, it's more delicate, and oftentimes because of all of that rubbing, the hair starts to split. So if you don't trim your hair on a regular basis, even if your hair is appearing that it's growing, or some people may say that my hair is not growing, but they don't trim their hair and they always are caught at this length where, okay, my hair gets right here and it starts to break off, it is because as your new hair is growing and you have those split ends at the bottom, if you are not trimming it on a consistent basis, what that hair is doing that's at the bottom is continuing to split up the shaft of your hair. So even though you have new hair coming in, it doesn't matter, because the old hair that needed to be trimmed away wasn't taken away, and now those ends are splitting up the shaft. So it's meeting that new hair right in the middle, and it's damaging it. So no, you're not retaining length because you won't cut your hair. Just trim it. I promise y'all, a trim is not gonna kill you. What it's going to do is, a lot of people say it helps with growth, but it's not that it's helping with growth. It is aiding in length retention. Dusting and taking away those old ends is making way and making room for your hair that is newly growing in to actually flourish. And another way that we can kind of minimize our split ends is by, one, sleeping on satin, whether that's a satin pillowcase or satin scrunchie or a satin bonnet. Ensure that when you're just lounging in the house, laying around, just tie your hair up. Just put it up. You don't have to just be sitting around on cotton pillows all day. Just tie your hair up. They also have those satin coverings for the back of your car, because some of us be in a car all day. Me personally, I be in the car for 2 damn hours driving in this Atlanta traffic. So protect your hair where you can. Another way that you can protect your ends, specifically your ends, is when you are working in your conditioners, your leave-in conditioners, your deep conditioning mask, focus on the ends. That's the oldest part of your hair. It needs the most attention and the most love. So properly moisturize and hydrate and work in the product on the ends of your hair. And also, please y'all, with these ponytails, if you wear a ponytail or a slick back bun and it's pulling all the time and it's pulled up all the time and it's just stretching out your hair, that can cause damage and breakage in your hair, and that's going to result in you needing a haircut. So if you have to wear a bun or you have to wear a ponytail that happens to be a little tighter, just maybe for work, or that's just, you know, what works for you and your regimen, when you get home or when you get in that car, take that ponytail out. Let that hair breathe. Our hair needs to breathe, y'all. I think that's the biggest thing, like for me, was understanding in my natural hair journey that your hair just wants to breathe. It really does want to be free. I promise y'all, it just wants to be out and flowing and free. That is the biggest thing I learned. So always stressing and pulling it and tying it up and keeping it dry is gonna cause more problems down the line. And also, back on the topic of your trims, I used to trim my hair at home and my hair was very even, but I think that's just because I have a natural knack for hair. Do I recommend the everyday average person to be trimming their hair at home? No. Because a lot of times, what are we using at home? We're using the least expensive hair scissors that you could get at the hair store, or house scissors. So if you're cutting your hair with any of those two, what that's gonna do is also cause the hair to continue to split up the shaft. So you may think, oh, I'm just giving myself a nice trim. No, you're actually causing more damage. So I recommend partnering with a stylist that specializes in your hair needs, but more specifically hair health. Every stylist doesn't necessarily practice healthy hair practices. So I would definitely say to find as well as partner with the stylist that can provide you with the trims and the treatments that you need to keep your hair in a healthy state. But in the event that you are confident in dusting your own ends at home, please do so with a professional grade of shears. So I didn't say trim, but dust. So in between me actually going to get my ends trimmed, I do go in sometimes and I just lightly take off my ends. If I notice they start feeling a little, you know, crunchy, I'll take some off. And also, if you do tend to experience fairy knots, it's definitely time for a trim. That is a result of your hair splitting and also being dry. So you may need a cut or a trim to help reduce those fairy knots, and then dust in between those trims as well. Number 4, please don't beat me up for this one either, but please, 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 please minimize your hair care inventory. And this is coming from someone who, you know, I'm a former hair junkie, okay? I definitely had hella product. Every product you could think of, it was on my shelf. Partly because I am a hair blogger, but also because I just want to try everything, and I thought that I needed to have everything in this whole extreme catalog of hair care. You do not. You need a clarifying shampoo. You need a cleansing shampoo, a moisturizing shampoo, a conditioner that has a good slip that you can detangle your hair with on a weekly basis, a deep conditioning mask, whether you feel like you need that moisture, you need that protein, or you need a healthy moisture protein balance in the middle, a leave-in conditioner that works for you. Some people may need a thicker, creamier leave-in conditioner. Some people may need a more in the middle, lotiony type feel leave-in conditioner. Some people may need a milky mist, lightweight leave-in conditioner. Just everybody's hair and their porosity needs are different. And then your styling products. What I just have a gel of mousse, and that's it. But based off how you're wearing your hair on a consistent basis, the products that you may need in your catalog may be different. But do you need to go out and try every single product? Absolutely not. Find what works and leave out the rest. And this is the absolute last tip that I want to give you all today, and that is to take your time with your hair journey. If you see people with hair down to their crack, I promise you they've been growing it for years, okay? And this is coming from somebody who sells a hair growth oil, who has long hair, who has been able to retain their length. It's not an overnight process. The results that you all are seeing of people with long, healthy, and not even just long hair, just healthy hair in general, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes work. It's not something that you're going to get just from doing one deep conditioning mask in 2 months. You know, your hair is not gonna change overnight, especially if you're coming from a space where your hair was not the healthiest. It's going to take some time. It is a journey, but I think it is well worth it. If you put in that time, it will yield the results that you are looking for. Healthy hair takes patience, it takes kindness, it takes effort, but it does not have to be difficult. And I think that's the biggest thing I like to drill into people's head. Natural hair, healthy hair, it's not hard, it's not difficult, but it does take love, it does take time, it does take effort, it does take care, and it does take you wanting it to be healthy for it to be healthy. And I didn't mention this in the other points, but also there are things too that can hinder our hair from being in its healthiest state. And that could be things that are also internal. A few years ago, I had this humongous bald spot right here in the middle of my head that really caused me to start wearing my hair on the side part because I had a gluten allergy. I am not a healthcare professional. So take what I'm saying to you lightly, and also consult your doctors or your physician for this information, or do your own personal research. But a lot of the times, the things that we are consuming or the lack thereof can be a result of our hair not being its healthiest. So oftentimes people who are experiencing iron deficiency, anemia, things of that nature can often find their hair thinning, especially right here along the edges or even throughout the hair, because they are lacking in iron and magnesium. If you are not drinking water consistently or hydrating your body properly, you can see your hair and your skin being a little bit on that drier side. If you have food allergies, or if you're not consuming the right foods, you can also see that showing up on your skin and your hair. So I also do recommend too, if you feel like, okay, I'm doing everything under the sun that I should be doing and my hair is still not doing what it needs to do, definitely consider speaking to your physician and maybe getting some blood work done and seeing where you may be deficient in some places, whether it's in those vitamins, in those nutrients, and try supplementing that in your diet. So I do hope that this video was helpful to you all. I do have a lot more tips and tricks in my arsenal of hair videos, so definitely let me know what are some things that you all may want to see. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that post bell notification button so that you never miss when I upload. And I will see you all in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.